Let's talk. We want to hear from Lester and Leslie. Let's talk. We're on a journey, come along with me. Let's talk. We're bringing a new perspective. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk with Lester and Leslie.
So, yeah, being in the production and whatnot, like obviously every time I need to fix that because I should not be gaining weight whenever I do a show.
You have a show.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's additional time that is taken from your free time. So like if you have a workout regimen, that's going to interrupt that.
I like working out like in the morning, but coming back home like
at midnight, 1 o'clock,
I'm tired, and then
you got to work.
I have like right after work, I have to go straight to the theater because of traffic, and I don't really sit down and eat anything. So I'm eating whatever candy or whatever is left around over there, and then when I come home,
maybe some fast food.
I either either go hit like whatever's open late, like Portillo's. Or a Wendy's or something like that.
They've got the best beef. Do you know that Wendy's was ranked the worst fast food restaurant recently in like some article? Yeah. I stopped eating there after that. I'm not gonna lie, Wendy's has kind of falling off to me a little bit anyway. Like those Frosties are not what they used to be. Well, I tried one of those. That was the last time I ate there. It was at the beginning of summer. They have these infused Frosties now.
What?
Where you could put like cookies in it or stuff like that. And it makes the Frosty flat. It's disgusting. It's like sweet water with cookie pieces in it.
I'm pretty sure that's a degradation.
And then the article came shortly after that where I read that. I'm like, fuck Wendy's.
Oh,
there's no Wendy's around me anyway. I'd rather have Burger King or McDonald's. Even McDonald's. You thought McDonald's used to be, I think, the worst one. And now, when I saw that with Wendy's, I was like, "Girl, you weren't even that good, no way." So, no hard feelings. Peace out. But Portillo's is everything.
Yeah, and I'm just like, that sucks that it's so close by.
Yeah.
It's like on the way. I'm seeing it like on the way. I'm just like, and it's open right now. Let me go get me some fries or whatever.
Oh, they got good fries. They have a good chopped salad too, but that's not even good
I can't eat
either.
that in the car. Because I have to.
Touche. It's got to be easy food to eat. Right. Yeah. Stuff you can eat on the way.
To have a whole burger, but like.
That's kind of difficult to drive and eat too. Yeah. Right. The chicken fingers. That's right. And the fries. Yeah. Breaded chicken fingers.
So nutrition failing, everything is just like on a decline during whenever I'm in production, and I need to fix that. So after eating like that, coming home late at night, I'm full stomach of grease, sodium.
Yeah.
Falling asleep on that. And then waking up like late, like, I don't feel like doing nothing. Of course I don't feel like doing anything. I'm totally dehydrated and like logy from eating all that crap, you know?
Yeah.
And then, so I'm not exercising. I'm eating crap, not exercising. And so I'm definitely not drinking water.
Right.
So.
That is the one thing that I've been able to keep good with is the water, only because I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I started throwing pieces of fruit and vegetables in my canister. Like right now, I've got lemon and mint leaves in here. Yeah,
that's a lovely combination.
So that has been keeping me drinking water consistently. That's been the only thing that's been consistent these past couple of months in terms of like.
Well, that's very important. That should be paramount
is the water intake.
Yeah
Definitely,
absolutely that will save your life.
Yeah, but pivoting really quick back to your show. First of all, the show was amazing, as always. Of course, the choice that you chose for your character, the one that Viola Davis played in the movie. What was her name?
Let's rewind it back to make it clear. So the production that I was in, it was at the Theater of Western Springs, 97th season.
Come on now.
Yeah, 97 seasons, crazy.
You know that's 97 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Theater of Western Springs.
Yes, right. I love that place. So I was in a production of Doubt that was over the Theater of Western Springs, and man, I've never had an opportunity to play someone that complex. When I first read her, well, first of all, this is a Pulitzer Prize winning play, and obviously and a Tony Award winning play, and they made it into a movie where all the actors were nominated for Academy Awards for their role in this show.
Meryl Streep, Viola Davis,
Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Amy Adams.
Yes.
And so the character that I played was obviously Viola Davis' character of Mrs. Muller. And the director, her name is Jean Gottlieb, the director worked with me in a way to develop my character that made sense for who I was. Because obviously she didn't know that I was a middle-aged woman. So it's just like, I don't present like that. Like, on a daily, I'm going to say
whatever I do what I want.
Yeah. Like I told you, I'm not about the deterioration game. Okay. If I can help it, I'm going to help it.
So she thought you were what, in your 20s? Or?
Yeah. Yeah. She said 26. And I was just like, oh, here's
that's, yeah. That's like when I go to the bar and they card me. I just play thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for making me safe.
Yeah.
I feel so safe now knowing that you asked for my documents.
So she's thinking you're 20. You tell her.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm 40. I'm actually older than the character.
How old was that character?
38 to 40, actually. But
I was going to say you within the scope.
Yeah, I'm within the scope.
Yeah.
But it's just like I aged on the older end of the scope.
Okay. Right.
And it's just like I couldn't, because she didn't realize that I was the same age as this character. She said that, oh, I think we need to age your character. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that, because at first I thought that she didn't know how old I was based on just by looking at me, because like we don't disclose that. But like I know she thought that I was younger than I was, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take that as tired, as exhausted,
Okay.
So I played with it in that direction and played it more towards how Viola Davis played that role. It was someone who was just like exhausted. They weren't as, I mean, when did you see it?
When did I see the movie?
Yeah, have you seen it?
I have seen the movie.
Yeah. See, like, now she was more conservative based on like an opposite type of character than what I played.
Yeah, totally opposite, because I mentioned this to you afterwards. I mean, Viola in all her roles, I think she kind of always amps it up. Her and Angela Bassett have that amp it up spirit with everything. So there's this moment where you've seen Viola do this too in other roles, where it's get real emotional and crying and snot coming out the nose. It's just all like
ugly crying.
Ugly.
You will feel that.
Yeah.
You want to hand the screen of tissue, like for real.
Hand the screen of tissue. All of that for sure. But
who hurts you, Angela?
Right. But you kind of took it a little bit more, less dramatic, and kind of the way I've described it is matter-of-factly. And I told you this after the play. I thought that was smart, because it gives, first of all, for me, I was able to hear dialogue that I didn't catch in the movie, because when Viola was executing, she was doing all the things and the dramatics were high, and Meryl Streep's character was doing her thing, but Viola stole that scene between the nun and Mrs. Fuller. What's the nun name? Sister Aloysius.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Viola totally steals that scene. So there was dialogue that I missed from the movie that I saw in this adaptation of the play because you took that role. The other thing too, and you I don't know if you thought about this when it came to your character, but I expressed this to you when that patron came after the show and was talking, giving you props, and I expressed that if we're talking about the 60s, that's when this play that's the time that this play takes place. 1964. And you're talking about someone who is experiencing a lot of change when it comes to the culture and how Black folks are being treated by this country and by the people who call themselves Americans in this country. And this mother would have likely experienced way worse when it comes to how she shows up in this country, way worse than her son is experiencing, possibly even if you think in the worst case scenario, which is if he's being sexually assaulted. Mm-hmm. His mother's thinking like, the end goal is that this child is going to be in a better position than I when it comes to his education and his opportunities. And in hindsight, this is not all that bad. This mother likely would have, if she was in white spaces in the education space, maybe got spat on, got called terrible names, or physically assaulted just for wanting to pursue education. Certainly would have been dealing with this microaggressions and maybe even forward aggressions. We're talking about the 60s, where they tell you that this is my water fountain, nigga, go to your side of the build, that kind of stuff. So the way that you played the character, at least the way that I interpreted it, was like, girl, I got bigger fish to deal with. And what you're talking about isn't even that bad. It's not that terrible. You're trying to, and so to go back to what I mentioned with the dialogue, I had the chance to actually listen to Sister Aloysius's like retort in the back and forth. And I caught that, oh my God, this sister is willing to sacrifice the one and only Black child in this school and his education, his opportunities, just to make a point against this priest that he is sexually assaulting children. And it's thought that, another thing, I didn't mention this to you, but I remember in the script, there's other boys that she accused that he's around in that little basketball team thing, that it's suspected that maybe he would have messed with them too. Why aren't you pressing those white boys and their mothers about allegations, and you're pressing just this Black boy, and you're willing to sacrifice his opportunities and his livelihood and all those things just to make your point? That's the part that I did not, if I caught it, maybe it wasn't as strong as me catching it. And when I saw you guys' adaptation of it last Sunday, because my God, I was like, this old heifer talking about the Sister Aloysius, this heifer don't give a damn about this Black child. But like you tried to make the premise that you're trying to protect this child, this the first Black child in this Catholic school, but yet when the dog has a bone for this priest, you're willing to throw all that goodness. They say the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions. This is a very good example of that.
That was a line that I had too. You may think you're doing some good. Mm-hmm. When I was exiting, I was going to slam the door.
Yeah.
I didn't slam the door. I just walked out.
Right.
But yeah, you may think you're doing some good, but I don't think you and me are on the same side.
See, and you weren't. You obviously were not, and that was clear as day the way that you guys played it. But super, I love the angles in that. The one that sat with me and gave me goosebumps. So Leslie, you told me when you did this play initially that in the first talk back, that the character that played Father Flynn, Danny, would reveal in like the last show, which was that Sunday, what choice he chose to take in terms of whether he believed that his character, Father Flynn, actually assaulted that child or not. And when the play was over, there was no talk back. No. So, but that was one of the reasons why I came. Obviously, I came to support you, but given that this was a show that in a movie that I've seen and I liked and know, when you told me that, I was like, ooh, I would love to know this. So
and he was masterful. He played it consistently through the whole run of the show. He committed to that backstory.
I want to preface that even reading this play in college, seeing the movie a million times, my thought has always been that Father Flynn did that shit, right? Because at the end of the movie, just like in the play, he ends up leaving the school seemingly because he was caught up in like the what's her name, Sister Aloysius, all the kind of allegations she was bringing up. It almost validated them when he decided to leave. So for me, I was always committed to the idea that he did that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I go to Danny, right? Because they did not end up having an official like talk back at that last show. So I approached him as they breaking down the set, and I'm saying, hey, my friend is a part of the cast, Leslie. She tells me that you had a very intentional way to approach this character, specifically around whether you believe that he assaulted the child or not, and that you would reveal that at the last show. So I said, inquiring minds want to know. And what he told me shook me to my core. He said, first of all, I don't believe that this father assaulted this young boy. However, this father is a homosexual priest. And when he said that, and even me saying it again, I'm still getting goosebumps from him just saying that one line. And I had to kind of hold back tears too, because, and this maybe will be a topic later when we talk about like sexuality and kind of like the fallacies, for lack of better words, the falsities that people believe about homosexuals, specifically homosexual men, even more specific, homosexual men of color. One of them is that we're child predators, that you don't want to have children around us because we're sexual deviants, those kind of things. Meanwhile, you've got heterosexual family members who are assaulting children. You listen to heterosexual artists who have been convicted and have been living a life of child endangerment for their entire careers, and you supported their careers with your dollars for decades, right? You have all these instances of heterosexual predators. And I know just from my own experience being queer, being under that umbrella, being someone who is same-sex attracted, right? I knew exactly what he was talking about when he said that. And I've experienced that in having to, when you're around young children, once you're out, right? Not necessarily. See, that's another reason why a lot of men stay in the closet, is because not just because of the weight of judgment that comes from you just knowing that this person engages with the same sex, but also all the other falsities that come with that title,
stereotypes,
all the stereotypes that come with it, and being someone who is not safe around, that shouldn't be around children because of you looking at this person as a sexual deviant.
That's not even like a stereotype. That's just like slander.
It's slander because it's not true for sure, right? That we know. But it's one of those things that you carry. So to kind of tie it back to the moment he said that, I understood exactly what that meant, and also why at that time he would, if that was his truth, the character Father Flynn, that I never assaulted this person. In fact, another layer that I identify with, usually I've been around queer youth before, right? I've been around underage youth, and while there are deviants everywhere, gay and straight, and everything in between, right? I've always, and friends would tell you this, like I always refer to myself as an elder, even though I'm not that necessarily that old, but I take pride in having lived the little life that I have lived and experienced things, and those, like I've experienced what a deviant could look like in the community, being a young closeted queer individual myself. That yes, there are predators out there on the gay side, just like there are on the straight side, and could see your youth or your inexperience as a vulnerability that they want to exploit for their own personal whatever. I've experienced that. So when I'm around queer youth,
like that, they should not like minimize that label to just homosexuals. Like that's a whole there's a whole spectrum of offenders.
Yeah.
You can't just put people in a pocket and be like, oh, well, the only ones that offend are gay men.
Right.
When there's a whole lot of straight men who offend.
And gay women, by the way,
women.
like the stigma is also on
absolute
queer women. Yeah, same gender loving women as well when it comes to being around young girls.
Yes.
So
there's groomers and all kinds of, I guess, types.
Right. Sexuality types.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't matter. You're just a horrible person.
Exactly. A horrible person is a horrible person, regardless of their skin color or sexuality, whatever. But
it should not be pocketed to a single group of people. But that's hate.
I thought that was right. Exactly. I thought that was
that was very profound.
Such a profound. This is the first time in all these years that I've seen this play, seen this story, that I said to myself, wow, he could have been innocent. Because I can identify with that whole thing where it's like, rather than have the stigma or have to deal with the shame that comes with it's talking about my pre-out days or whatever, right? Being in the closet. There are certain things that you would sacrifice, lie about. There are certain things that you would take that you normally would not, in terms of respect, in terms of someone respecting your person and your personhood. You give up a lot when you're in the closet, right? To seemingly protect. I say seemingly because I'm on the other side of that now, thank God.
Yeah.
But
it is, 'cause
I can recall living that kind of life.
There's a fear, right?
There's a fear that's attached there. It's a level of disrespect in certain cases that you just take to the chin. Let me tell you something. We're about to get real for 2 seconds. I know I'm not going to call out this artist's name, but there's someone who I know who, anytime we have conversations around politics, and this is another, queer artist that I know within here locally. And we've had conversations. This person isn't necessarily in the closet, but when we've had conversations about like politics and culture, one of the things he always tells me is I'm Black first, right? And when we go into our dialogue, it almost seems like there are moments where he is okay and comfortable with sacrificing the things that he would want for himself as a queer individual, just for the sake of keeping his Blackness, right? And to me, that's still like being in the closet. It's like you're the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's like, and I feel like that's still in the closet, because it's still you're adhering to systems that don't serve you for the sake of not wanting to seeming like you're losing something. And my thing is, in my liberated self, I recognize that my color and my sexuality and also what I like in terms of music and food and stuff, like I am a whole person and all those buckets are equal. Mm-hmm. One bucket doesn't outweigh the other. So I get angry at him, but also I get sad for him as well in certain situations, because it's like, man, this side of the fence is liberating, but I'm not gonna lie, even right now, like I'm getting emotional thinking about the journey to fully coming out and accepting myself fully and who I am in all cases, in all situations, right? When we're talking about Blackness, recognizing that there has been queerness that has had to been subdued in our liberation efforts. A lot of people don't know about Byron Russell when it comes to Martin Luther King and him writing, helping organize behind him, and that being a queer out, all the queer artists that are out there. Hell, Luther Vandross never got a chance to. I saw a meme out there, a little video, like a little reel, where they said it was a panel of guys talking. I assume they were gay, and they were saying, man, we missed out on so much dope queer music because Luther never had a chance to come out. He made amazing love songs for heterosexual couples, but because he could not suppress, because he had to suppress who he really was. We have to fantasize what he really was talking about with these beautiful songs, because he never had a chance to confirm. We can only know by the people who were closest to him, like Patti LaBelle and stuff. So
he couldn't express it in his art, which is a shame.
Fully. And this is someone, if you listen to his music, they've analyzed it. This is someone who has always wanted like a deep, long love and just could never get it. And you can hear it in his music. It's just stuff like that that always shakes me, because trying to adhere to systems that don't serve you, it's almost like you're not able to live a full life. And then you die, right? And now the opportunity is gone.
So that ties into another thing. It's like, are there things that we had to sacrifice, like what we enjoy, because of that fear, or the things that we are suppressed, or that we have to suppress within ourselves because of the way that we were taught. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not able to be we're not able to be our full, best, most evolved self because of things that are hindering, because of these made up constructs that is so much focus is put into, that we end up not being a fully formed version of who we're supposed to be. We're not really working into our gift.
Right.
So when you talk about that with Luther, and we had missed out on all this like beautiful art that he could not express because of the way society was. He could not.
And still is in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
We've got liberation now, but there are still a lot of R&B soul artists out there who, and I know this just from being in the scene locally, a lot of artists who, for lack of a better term, suppress who they are for the sake of their environment.
Yes.
And because of that, they do more to adhere to what they like versus what they could fully be within themselves. You're writing songs about women and you have no attraction to women, or women vice versa. There's an artist, Tyra B from down, who when she first came out, her first big hit was Country Boy, I Want a Country Boy. And now she's a fully out lesbian and making really good music. But she when she first came out, she had to put on the air that a straight woman just to be accepted in the Black community.
Like, there's all these masks that people will have to wear. Like, I would say, now let me see if I can put that into my experience, because I don't like talking in you statements and these people and whatnot, because this doesn't seem very true to form, and it's like that's how misinformation gets spread. But I know that going into different spaces, I have to put on a different type of mask, not only for protection, well, mostly for protection, because like I don't know if it's a new space or if I'm in public. I'll say it this: when I'm in public, when I'm riding the subway or the L, or I'm walking down the street and I'm alone and it's like at night and whatnot, then there is a certain type of air or type of mask that I have to fix my face to be, so that I don't get bothered. It'll take a brave individual to bother me, and I don't really like those brave individuals. Are
God bless them.
Oh boy. I like that. I have to tap into something different, you know what I'm saying? But like, there's obviously different masks that people have to put on it for protection. That's that. But for suppression, that's so sad.
Suppression for safety. Yeah.
Like, you're not allowed to be. It's one thing to be like, okay, I'm out here. Well, I shouldn't have to be like that anyway, where I'm out in public. I should be able to walk down the street and not be harassed, you know?
Right.
I should be able to go where I want to go and not be kidnapped. But stuff like that. So it's just like, that shouldn't happen anyway, and it shouldn't be the norm. But when you have to sacrifice or kill off pieces of what make you you, or to kill off pieces of yourself in order for you to fit in a box, like to prune yourself, to fit in a space that you probably shouldn't be in.
Right.
But
that part,
because, you know, of the way things are, or situations, or just not knowing any better, that's where you ended up at. So it's either do that or leave. And how do you leave? Or how do you break out? Like, there's a whole, like, that's a lot that I can't really speak to, because my experience is kind of weird. Like, so that is just so sad to me, that whole suppression. So
yeah,
when you're talking about like that, when you Father Flynn, now, did you also pick up that Donald Muller was a queer child?
The young black boy, right? Yeah. I knew that from the film.
Right.
Because there's a part, Lord, I don't want to get emotional. There's a part Mrs. Muller talks about, like, I know my child. I'm a mother, and I know there have been thought pieces out there about especially gay, queer black men and their mothers. And I'm not going to get into detail on this show because we are already a lot of time into this episode, and I would love to get into this in detail later. Yeah, but like, there is a special connection with queer, specifically men. I can speak to my experience, specifically queer men of color and their mothers. I love both my parents. Unfortunately, my dad left a little too early, but I mean, too early for me. He lived a full life, but yeah, there is definitely a special connection with a black gay boy and his mama. So in this play, we see that, she mentions that, Mrs. Muller, you mentioned that in your line, that I know my son, you know. So yeah, there was never a question to me that the boy was queer because his mama told it. Yeah.
And there was a chance, like when I first read Mrs. Muller, like I did not like her. Simply because the fact is just, how can you be okay with throwing your child to the wolves and just saying that that's fine. Also, I don't care. It's just let them be assaulted for 6 months. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, and me, I would never. Like, I would pack up as much as I could. But however, she wasn't in that position. She was, so the backstory I gave her to make this make sense, or to make this scene more
normal.
Well, not normal, but more human.
Yeah.
And there's a nuance to that too. I think that's just going to be the theme now, because we really need to bring that back. Was the fact that, okay, how can I understand her in the point where this is makes sense? And so I'm thinking, okay, this takes place in New York. I think maybe the Bronx or Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
The Bronx, you're right.
The Bronx. And it's just like, I see them being a better off Black family. Maybe the husband, I thought I wanted to put the husband in the military. They're not home very often, but when they are home, they beat on this child because
he can see the queerness in his
He's
child.
effeminate.
Yeah.
And so this child gets it every day or every time that this man is home. But when he's not home, there's so much joy. But at the same time, at this public school, like she was
private. Is it public or private?
So the line, the story or the line is that my child came to this school because they were going to kill him at that public school.
Right. Gotcha.
And I'm pretty sure it might have been an all Black public school, but they didn't like him because he was gay.
Correct.
So, and there's a lot of violence like that within the Black community.
That's right.
So that's
right.
That's not a far off thought. It's not a far off assumption.
Yeah.
So now she's putting him into this all white Catholic school because integration is a thing now. And the fact that if they graduate from here, that means that there's a better chance of getting elevated education.
Better opportunities.
Yes, better opportunities and freedom, because education is freedom.
Right.
And so her saying, okay, him getting his ass beat for no reason or for no good reason is worse than, or him getting his, like him being abused physically for being gay is or is worse than him being loved on, in quotes, by someone else who is like him.
Right. And the thing is, he could have actually been subjected to worse, like physical abuse plus the mental that comes with racism. Yeah. But I think the differentiator is at that public school, he doesn't have someone who's taking an interest in him in leadership that can help protect him and get him through what was the line? Get to June.
Get him, yes, just till June.
Just till June.
And I'm sure even the leadership was homophobic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So over at that school. So I had to be like, okay, I would rather him not be physically beaten, because obviously the vocabulary for this type of treatment did not exist then.
Right. You're talking 64.
Yeah. Everything as we know it did not exist. You know, and so you got to pick and choose your battles. You got to reprioritize some things. And if that child was safer in school, meaning that he wasn't going to have skin broken, bones broken, just, you know what I'm saying? Just
right. Have to endure that
negative abuse,
that physical abuse, plus have
teetering.
But also this public school didn't have the same opportunity. So it's that's another thought. If he's going to have to go through some bullshit, at least let it be some place where he can let it be the best place.
And the better, option, the better hell.
Right. Exactly.
Better hell.
So all these different these different
lots of
layers
and so Patty Roeder, who played Sister Aloysius, she has a backstory too. And this
did she share it?
Yes. She shared her backstory. And
Sister Aloysius, this is not Meryl Streep's character.
Yeah.
Okay, it is.
Yes. Aloysius is the head nun that was trying to like.
You care to share that one?
Oh man, it's juicy. So, hold on. I guess this is the only tea I'm capable of spilling. But anyway, uh-oh. I'm changing on things.
Did she mean to keep it a secret?
No, because this was the thing. We had to commit to our backstories.
Okay.
And whether we shared it or not, we feel that if we kept it, well, mine obviously was out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I only had 5 pages of dialogue, so it had to.
I like as you said, only 5 pages. I would have stumbled and fallen.
There was some stumbling.
Making up my own dialogue, but go ahead.
Yeah, but like, so her backstory was, so you know that in the scene with me, not even in the ledge, but the scene that she was in, scene 2, when she's with Sister James.
Sister James. Mm-hmm.
In the garden, and she's talking about how she used to be a married woman and her husband was killed by Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Or not like directly, but in the war.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said hold on, let me get this right. So she found out that her husband was gay in some kind of compromising position, right? So this is kicking off like the homophobia.
My God.
Well as
come on, layers.
Yeah, as well as the misandry. So so when her husband got enlisted, or not enlisted, but drafted into this war, she said, "I wish he was dead, and God, if you kill him or whatever, then I will give my life to the church." And that's why she's a nun.
Wow. Let me ask this, and we can make our way out the. Did you all share your personal backstories on the character with each other before engaging and getting into the play and rehearsing, or is this something that you kind of kept it to yourself?
We developed these backstories within rehearsal. Mm-hmm. And once we got it on stage, we committed to those stories.
But did you share with each other?
No. So we had no idea. No. I mean, they knew mine because did they know mine? No, I think that I shared mine at the first talk back.
Okay.
Of like what?
You spilled your tea early.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter because my character had nothing to do with their little battle. It was being adjacent to that and being having this woman's child being a pawn in their little game.
Right.
And they have nothing to do with it. We have our own goals.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to graduate. We are in our own bad situation, but y'all roping us into this.
Right.
And this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, obviously I'm aside from that. But those 3...
they had their own.
Yeah, they had their own thing going on, and they had to play off each other. And at the end, when we were striking the set, that's when they shared.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then when the way that we were playing it, we were just like, no, dude, like it was so juicy.
That would make sense why some of those lines where she mentions
Came
like picking up on things is like, of course you're going to have a sense. And you know what? That is something that ties into society right now. All of you guys have these like that are relevant to today because there's a special kind of vitriol that certain women have when it comes to talking about the queer community, especially like trans women and stuff like that.
Especially trans women.
Right. And I follow T.S. Madison and look at a lot of her content. And I'm not trans myself. I don't identify as that at all. But obviously, I've had, a long extended time with a trans person, so I've gotten a unique perspective being the partner of a trans individual for years. But she always mentions how there's a special kind of vitriol that certain women have, like when we're talking about just trans stuff. I can speak to queer stuff, right? But with women who have certain physical features, that could be mistaken as masculine, which, like, for instance, women who may have a little extra facial hair above their
the boxer
lip, or they're a little bit tall, or they got broad
that
shoulders.
boxer lady in the Olympics, the Olympian
Yeah.
woman, and there was all this like trans, and she's a biological.
She says all the time, like, with the direction that, like, in Texas and other red states are taking to try to ostracize, like, the bathroom thing. These women don't realize that you will be subject to that same thing. There will be someone that looks at you and like as much of a woman as you think you are, and separate from this community. You're being judged by the same standards that they are. And some of you guys possess those same kind of things that you think that are just exclusive to the trans community. You have some of those like those aesthetic features as well. So you put yourself at risk for being called out as being a trans individual, right?
It's really ridiculous. Like,
or women who have traditionally had problems with men. That's something I can identify with on the queer side. Like, just getting a special kind of vitriol from those kind of individuals. And that would, going back to what you mentioned with that Sister Aloysius character and the decision that she made, now we can see why that was the bone that you were carrying from the beginning, is anything that looks effeminate, queer, whatever. The only thing that I would question about that approach, though, is if you got this Black child that may be a deeper conversation. Let's not go there.
I think that's what I think that she said that when she found her husband offending, it was a child. So she put the two together that way.
So it's not just queer men, but queer child abusers.
Well, that's what they do.
Oh, she equates every queer person with.
Because of the one.
Well,
yeah.
I am emotionally drained at this point. I'm going to send this over to my good people over at Luminary Solutions. So I guess for me, well, let me ask you,
what's the lesson?
With all of this, what's the lesson that you have gathered from where you're at in your spiritual walk?
Most of it is, the lesson for me is to continue to fearlessly question things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with asking a question. You're supposed to ask questions. And if any institution discourages that, then that's a questionable institution.
I know that's right.
So that part. And then also to just be able to allow myself to feel things, because through those emotions and feeling those and talking through those emotions with myself, that is how I can get through things and evolve into a higher level of myself, because that's how you develop emotional intelligence.
Right.
That's how you develop a higher sense of self, and you're more in tune to the energy that kicks everything off, which is God. So I feel that those lessons, those are the takeaways from me getting that liberation, I should say, from those social constructs of religion. Because there's a lot of things that Christianity focuses on that is really irrelevant to the actual message.
Yeah. And the message is beautiful. Like the root.
I'm people just need to chill. Like, why are you so mad about things that just don't matter? Just like the whole goal is for everyone to live, and to live in their best gifts and contribute.
Them best selves,
because it continues life here. To protect the planet, everything. Like, it all makes sense. Like, if you're going to fight that, then are you really what you say you believe?
Ooh.
So, yeah, there you go. Like, there's a question.
That's the lesson for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've learned a few lessons Oh, just in this conversation, and one of them is that I still have a lot of growth to do. And the thing is, I'm one that in the Christian faith, they call it spirit led, or some folks who may not be Christian may call it like, being sensitive to vibes. That's kind of the life that I've led for a while. Is like, for instance, we're having this conversation about faith and evolved spirituality and that walk. And I just told my friend earlier today that I've been asking about churches because we haven't been in church for a while, and I'm longing to get back to church hopping. And I think just kind of in alignment with what you mentioned about getting back into the Bible and really learning the stories. That's my purpose for going to church, is to get the perspective of the pastor on the Bible. I like to be, along with being a storyteller, I like a good story. That's why I like theater and I like movies and things like that. So I believe that to be in the same kind of grouping. So that's my purpose for going to church. And so that's one of the lessons that I still got a lot of growth to do in my spiritual walk. Lord, I don't want to have to go through trauma to get there.
Right.
But, but, so that's one of them. And then also too, I am more assured in some of the kind of root things that I've learned in my Christian faith, which God is still God. And, that if you focus on Him and the things that I believe, like you mentioned, was looking to achieve in terms of love, connection, community, protection from evil, because the thing is, evil is out there. You'll find out that the evil that you thought was evil is actually not it, and the things that you thought were safe are actually tools of evil, right? When you get to that, so in keeping your mind stayed on Jesus, hallelujah, 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 it still stands true.
Amen.
Amen.
So are you going to watch The Conjuring?
Am I going to watch it? I could.
You want to go together?
If you like.
Because I hate that shit. But it's a movie. I can look at it from a theatrical perspective. I think I have the spiritual fitness.
We can totally do that. Armed with the good word. But yeah, we could do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think this was their spooky episode.
We touch on a lot of sensitive, real spooky stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for now, I say this is your hopefully soon to be favorite uncle and auntie.
But we ain't claiming y'all.
We signing off.